Hey everybody, hope you had a good weekend. As you can tell, my voice is still struggling a bit. We are on day 20, starting a new week today. And, this is an awesome chapter. I'd referenced this chapter a while back in the message, referencing oftentimes in the ancient world, the assumptions about diseases and this idea that diseases are always a punishment from God because of sin or disobedience. And Jesus kind of demystifies that right up front. He says, actually, no, it's nobody's fault that these things happen. It's the result of sin. But God has allowed this so that his work can be seen. And at the center of this chapter is one of the iconic statements about what it means to share our faith. You got this incredible story. A young man who was born blind, has never been able to see. Jesus hucks a loogie in some dirt, rubs it in his face, tells him to go wash. When he does, then he can see. Powerful story. And when this happens, immediately they bring him in before the Pharisees and they ask him who did this. The guy's like, I don't know. I couldn't see him because I was blind. And the Pharisees at first doubt the guy was blind, so they investigate. They bring in his parents, and John tells us the parents are afraid of the Pharisees. But even though they're afraid, they tell the truth. They confirm he was born blind. We don't know how he can see. You have to ask him, because they're intimidated. And I love when they do and go and ask him, and they say, surely this guy's got to be a sinner because he did it on Sabbath. And there's this frustration among the Pharisees. Some are saying, but okay, he did it on the Sabbath. I get that breaks our rules, but how does he have the power to do this if God isn't with him? And so there's this curiosity by some Pharisees, and there's this dogmatic, aggressive perspective the others have because Jesus did this on Sabbath. And they're so ritualistic. And there's a moment where they ask the guy, so who is he? And the guy has this awesome, beautiful response. He says, I don't know. All I know is before I met him, I was blind, and now I can see. And that's your story, and that's my story if we've met Jesus. This is who I used to be. And I can't even necessarily tell you how it happened, but this is where I was, and this is who I was. And now I'm alive. I've experienced new life, and I have peace, and I have joy. And whatever your testimony is, it's compelling when you walk with Jesus because he changes you. As you say yes in faith to Jesus, and then you follow him, and you start to say yes again and again and again. He's doing that transforming work in us as we say yes to obedience and faith. And I love at the end there, the guy gets kind of salty, right? He's not as afraid of the Jewish leadership as his parents are, because he kind of talks back to him a little bit. And he kind of challenges them, and then Jesus meets him face to face, reveals himself, and just a beautiful story. But my takeaway to that is, my testimony of what Jesus has done, what he continues to do, is not something decades old. It's the new life, the areas of my life where I was blind and now I can see. That transforming work of Jesus's Holy Spirit is continuing to do that work in me. And so I just invite you throughout the rest of today, invite the Holy Spirit to continue to do that work, to give you a fresh testimony and a fresh opportunity to testify to the new work that he's doing. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.